That should have been step one, is turn off both of those valves so they're perpendicular to the line. And then you turn on, while you have your compressed air hooked up, you turn on, this set of valves. And once it stops sputtering water, you go to the next one, like this bathroom here. And you'd open these valves, go back and close those ones. This is going to continue to sputter water. Once it's done sputtering, you close these, or you open these valves and close these ones, and you'll hear water coming out of there. Once that's kind of done getting the water out, here's your shower wand. It's going to come out here. Then you pull this up, right, and that's going to put the pressure into here. Water will spew out of here. Go ahead and close that back up right here, so goes back to spewing water out the bottom, or air at this point ideally, because you'll wait until all the water is sputtered out. And go ahead and you'd open this valve here. Now I'm not gonna open it right now, because then that would release all of the antifreeze that I have here. And I just put a little bit, I put a gallon in each tank. I'll go through the antifreeze here in a second, and why there's some up here. There's one last set of valves to open, and that's the outdoor shower. The outdoor shower can be tricky because it's on the outside. You think you got all the valves, but so remember, you've still got a set of valves open there, so you're not building up 40 psi of pressure in all of your tanks. It's probably fine, but I like to err on the side of caution. Kind of person I am. But you open the outdoor shower here. If I can find my key, actually your key. Sorry, doing things with one hand here is not the best at it. Okay, and then you'd open these valves, right? It's spewing water out. You go and close the other one so it gets the most pressure out of this, and it'll keep spewing. Once you got all your valves, you'd go ahead and, sorry, doing stuff one-handed again. You'd go ahead and unhook your air hose here, right? And there's a special adapter. There's one in there. You could probably make a more robust one with a couple fittings from the hardware store or whatever. If you're handy, you're probably already 2 steps ahead of me. But you unhook your air hose from your air compressor, and then you want to go ahead and leave these valves open. And basically all these valves that we opened up and closed back up, you want to leave them all open over the winter. And again, that's so if there just happens to be the off chance a little bit of water is somewhere, as it freezes, it expands, and escapes, that way. It doesn't pressurize the system and burst pipes. Again, I've never had a problem with blowing out and then leaving valves open. I know some people like to use this pink stuff, and right there, that's antifreeze. That's not a weird looking number 1, but some people like to kind of go where that hot water bypass valve is and hook up a tube there, and go ahead and run the 12-volt pump here, right, and run all the stuff, and then get all that pink stuff in your pipes. Again, never had a problem just blowing out, and it's a lot easier to de-winterize. Other steps for winterizing: you get that pink RV antifreeze, and you pour it down each drain, because each drain has a U-shaped pipe, right, just like residential housing, and you can't blow that water out very easily, but you can displace it with antifreeze very easily. So you pour that into this drain, this drain and this drain. You want at least a gallon. What I did is I just poured some in each drain until you can, hear it all going through the system. And then I poured an extra gallon just down this drain. And what that does is it gets the gray water tank, with some antifreeze, and it keeps the valves on the bottom, the dump valves, nice and happy. And then same thing here. I dump a gallon, or most of the gallon, into the black tank, and then just a little bit over here. So the reason why you want some of this antifreeze in here is the rubber won't dry out, from what I've read, and it just keeps that seal nice and happy. And then same thing with the dump valves on the outside. So again, there's some non-freezing liquid, the antifreeze, that is coming over, and just right here in the pipe, and then also right over here. And this is your gray water valve here, and this is your black water valve. So yeah, those rubber parts won't dry out. There's antifreeze there, and it just makes it to where it keeps two things happy: the rubber, and if there is a little bit of water in there that doesn't come all the way out from a dump, it'll prevent it from freezing. One last thing is the hot water heater. So this is where the anode rod goes into. I pull that out so all the water seeps out, and if there's just little tiny bits left over from winter, if it does happen to freeze, it'll come out here. The ice won't just build up pressure and burst anything. So the valve, and you could probably put it back in and torque it all the way and be fine, but again, why take the chance to break anything when you could just remember to put stuff back in spring. So you'll put this rod here. This is that anode rod, and this deteriorates instead of your hot water heater. That's why it kind of looks all scaly and gross, but just like your residential hot water heater has an anode rod, this does too. And again, so when you're dewinterizing, step one would be to put that back in, torque it up. I think this takes a 27 millimeter socket to put in. Close all your valves, right? So that everything's open right now, right? Keep it all open. So you'd close this valve, or set of two valves. You close this set of two valves. You'd close this set of two valves, and the one that's on the other side here for the outdoor shower. You'd close those two sets of valves. Again, make sure you put this back in, and those two bottom drain nuts there for the lowest point on the piping. And then you'd go ahead, and I wish I had some better light here. This doesn't look too bad. You go ahead and get this hot water heater bypass valve that's kind of down here, put that back in line. Right now it's turned. It keeps water from going into the hot water heater, so you'll want to switch it back to where it'll let water back into the hot water heater. And then also this brass valve over here, and this just shuts off any flow from the tank here. So you can see this is where the freshwater tank is, and then this is where it pulls up and into the pump here. I know you can't quite see much, but I'll take some pictures and it'll make more sense. But really, if you're handy, all you just got to remember is that stuff's under this couch. That's pretty much it for winterizing and dewinterizing. And if there's any issues, I'm just a phone call away. Just shoot me a holler. I hope this helps. Thanks.